Pop all this stuff out. Pop out chat. Twitch. Pop out chat. Give me just a second, y'all. Getting everything going. Ooh, I think I might have to. Hold on. It'd be all right. Let's go live. All right. Doing a little sound check, a little checkity chick check, chick check, chick check, chick. Let me get up my stuff here. Ba-da-ba-bum. Be-dee-dee-dee. Let's see here. Check it. Check, a little checkity chick check, chick check, chick check, chick. All right. So we're gonna go a little, little bit louder, and then we'll be good to go. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right, we're gonna hit on a few topics today. The first thing is going to be. Let me get back here and drop these comment boxes so I can see if anybody comments. Hold on just a second. Shrink this guy down. There we go. All right, so first things first, China conducts precision missile strikes in Taiwan Strait. Well, obviously, that is going to raise tensions in the region. We know that Pelosi just went and Speaker Pelosi just went and did a stay in Taiwan as part of kind of a pushback to Z, or however you pronounce the name. I don't want to mess that up. With the threats against Taiwan. So China earlier announced that military exercises by its Navy, Air Force, and other departments were underway in 6 zones surrounding Taiwan, which Beijing claims as its own territory to be annexed by force if necessary. So China's already saying, like, hey, we own Taiwan. We're going to do what we want to do with it. Well, the U.S. is like, no, Taiwan is its own territory, so on and so forth. So I don't really know what's going on there, but I know with the speaker going there, that's kind of a brush in the face of Z, at least, on like, hey man, we're not just gonna let you push these guys around. So my take on it, I'm not saying that we should not back Taiwan, but I do believe that our feet are already in the sand with Ukraine. We are already, I mean, just annexing billions and billions and billions of dollars out right now in financial aid for Ukraine. So if we get our feet wet in Taiwan as well, okay, now we're going to be annexing billions and billions of dollars towards Taiwan if they get into it with China. So it's one of those things that, can our economy handle it? And I don't know. I don't know if it can. So let's see what else it says here. China fired long-range explosive projectiles. The Eastern Theater Command of the People's Liberation Army. The ruling Communist Party military wing said in a statement. It also said it carried out multiple conventional missile launches in 3 different areas in the eastern waters off of Taiwan. An accompanying graphic and state broadcaster CCTV showed those occurred in the north, east, and south. So yeah, they're showing their military force. Like, why would they shoot him there? They could have shot him off the other coast of China. Like, they chose to shoot them off of the coast of Taiwan in order to show that military power. What up, chat? All right, in other news, you have WNBA star Brittany Griner, who was detained at Moscow's airport and later charged with illegal possession of cannabis, is facing up to 10 years in Russia prison. The verdict is to be delivered on Thursday. U.S. has made Russia a swap offer. Swap legally possible after verdict. This content was produced in Russia, where the law restricts coverage of Russian military operations in Ukraine. Okay, that is irrelevant. Russian prosecutor on Thursday demanded U.S. basketball star Brittany Griner be sentenced to nearly 10 years in prison on drug charges for possession of cannabis, but her lawyer invokes sporting legends Usain Bolt and Michael Schumacher to plead that she be acquitted. A verdict is expected later on Thursday, a step that could pave the way for extraordinary U.S.-Russia swap, including Griner and an imprisoned Russian who was once the world's most prolific arms dealer. So we're see, this gets back to bullcrap. We're about to sit here and make a trade deal because the individual is an athlete. She's a U.S. citizen. I got it. However, did that individual do her homework, or their homework for that matter, before traveling to Russia and say, hey man, am I allowed to bring cannabis on me on this flight? Am I allowed to do these types of things? Because now it says it right here. The imprisoned Russian who we're going to swap for this individual, if they do get sentenced to up to 10 years in prison, is one of the world's most prolific arms dealers. What do you think they're going to go back to doing? They're going to go back to doing the exact same thing they were doing, dealing arms. Like, make that make sense. You can't make it make sense, Sway. You can't make it make sense. Just one of them things, man. Just one of them things. So now, Griner is a 2-time Olympic gold medalist and a Women's National Basketball Association WNBA star. Was detained, however you say that, airport on February 17th with vape cartridges containing hashish oil in her luggage. Okay, so she had cannabis vapes. It's legal here in the state of Illinois to recreationally use cannabis. So you can purchase those everywhere. But it's not, thank you for the like, by the way, but it's not legal to travel with it. If I traveled from Illinois, where it's legal, and I took a flight and I landed in Indiana, just right next door, and it's not legal, and my ass gets arrested, I'm going to jail. Like, you knew better than to travel with this stuff in the first place. And now we're about to give up a prolific arms dealer, one of the world's most prolific arms dealers, a Russian, for a basketball player who should have known better. Again, I'm not saying that it's right that she was arrested on cannabis charges. I'm not saying it's right that she's facing up to 10 years on cannabis charges. I'm stating that she should have not had the cannabis. Somebody should have been looking out for this individual and say, hey man, you shouldn't take that with you. Or in her mental, she should have been saying, hey man, I shouldn't take this with me. The cartridges threw the 31-year-old Texan athlete into a geopolitical maelstrom. Listen, I'm not the best enunciator, so if I mess up, just put some laughs in the chat. I'll be okay with it. triggered when President Vladimir Putin sent troops into Ukraine February 24th during the most strained U.S.-Russian relations since 1962 Cuban Missile Crisis. U.S. President Joe Biden is under pressure to intervene on behalf of the detained Americans, including Griner. Yeah, so I mean, that's my take on it. My take is know the laws to where you're going to travel. And if, after you know the laws to where you're going to travel, you still decide to break those laws, understand that that comes with a punishment. I don't care if their crime is you cannot wear white shoes in Germany, we'll just say. That's not a law. But say their law is you can't wear white shoes in Germany. All right? Me traveling to Germany or traveling anywhere else in the world, look up their laws, ladies and gentlemen, because you could so much as get off a plane, hit their customs, and take your ass right to prison. Come on now. Everywhere ain't the U.S. Everywhere is not the U.S., man. And even here, like I said, you get off a plane in another state that doesn't have recreational use of marijuana, and you don't have a medical card on you. Like, there you go. All right, a big topic that I want to touch on. So Kansas vote overwhelmingly preserve abortion rights. So over 100,000 independents came out and voted for to preserve abortion rights. So this isn't even coming from left-wing people. And then I looked up some statistics, and at least out of the blanket that AP did, only 33% of all people agree, or at least all voters are agreeing with the Roe v. Wade overturn. Like, it is getting so much backlash. And let's just look into it. So voters in Kansas turned out in record numbers Tuesday and overwhelmingly rejected a proposed amendment that would have removed the rights to an abortion from the state constitution and opened the door for the Republican-controlled legislature to pass restrictions or an outright ban on abortion. Ali Rogan reports from Kansas. Okay, so the bill that was presented, which it was presented in the primary and not during the November elections. It was presented in the primary in hopes that less voters would turn out. Well, they had it messed up because independent voters turned out. And I'm an independent voter. And independent voters are fact voters. They're not left wing, they're not right wing. They're fact voters. And these people are saying this is wrong, people. This is wrong. I don't have the right to tell you what to do with you. You don't have the right to tell me what to do with me. Period. Point blank. End of discussion. It's not my body. It's not your body. Like, who are you to go up? And I'm talking about even women. Who is a woman to go to a woman and tell that woman what to do with that woman's body? You are nobody. You're not God. You do not own that individual. Now, at the same token, don't be that person that supports pro-choice and then turn around and go violate some other rights of some other form of human rights. Leave it across the board. Freedom is freedom is freedom. Let these ladies, or whatever their pronouns allow them to be, let them make their decisions for themselves. Do you want to go back to where ladies are, either traveling for abortion, so now they're waiting, or they're getting like black market abortions? Like, come on, man. Think with your heads. So this was actually a really really great step for the Roe v. Wade overturn. I fully support this 110%. I hope this goes the same way in every single state. And Kansas is a red state, folks. Kansas is a red state. So that should show you right there that the people did not agree with it. 100,000 independent voters, 100,000 more than they thought they would get to come out and vote. And again, that's why they put it in the primary. They didn't wait until the actual elections in November. They waited until the primary, or they did it in the primary to mostly have conservative voters. But it wasn't just conservative voters that came out. You know, there's 100,000 votes they got from independent people that didn't vote, that were not registered voters for Conservative Party, were not registered voters for Democratic Liberal Party. They were independent voters, came out and voted against the abortion bill that was tried to run through in the primary of Kansas. That's amazing. That is amazing. And I am pro-choice, 110%, a woman's body, a woman's right to choose, period, point blank. And that woman, we're not talking about a woman's right to choose so another woman can come in and give allegations and tell this woman she's wrong for doing this or she's right for doing this. It's not up to you. It is up to that individual and that individual's medical provider. I don't believe that the state should be able to step in at all 0% on this topic. Any state, the federal government should not be able to step in. This should be on healthcare providers and the individual that is seeking the treatment. Now, with that being said, I do believe that the individual that is seeking the treatment should have to maybe talk with a social worker or talk with somebody other than just a medical, a physical medical provider, because maybe there's something else going on. I just want it to be done in the most healthy way possible for that individual. This has nothing to do with me or somebody else's point of view. I just want it to be done in the most healthy way, because it can take an effect on the mental, on either side of anything. I've seen a woman have a miscarriage. It takes an effect on the mental. So I don't know the other side of it, if it takes an effect on the mental, but I'm saying that they should have more outreach for these individuals, not less outreach and let's just, well, abortion's bad, you can't get one, and blah, 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 blah. Well, who the hell are you, doc? Like, who the hell are you to even speak on this? So this is a power move right here. This is a power move. And we're going to see this in more red states. We're going to see it in more red states, guaranteed. These are independent voters. These are not liberal voters. These are not fake votes. These are people that turned out in primary elections, which lets you know that if this would have came on the November ballot, holy crap, it would have had so much opposition. And I hope that whoever presented this bill is not running. I'm not big on Kansas politics, so I don't even know who's running in Kansas. But I hope whoever presented this bill is not running in Kansas, because you're most likely not getting revoted either. Whoever presented the bill for the primary and voted on that bill to be in the primary, dude, like, good luck. Good luck. We'll probably touch base back on that here after just a bit. We're going to move on to the Bank of England predicts a recession. So they just hiked their interest rate on their bank to 1.75%, the highest since the depths of the global financial crisis since December 2008. So anybody that was around in 2008, you know that we went through a recession in 2008. Housing market crashed, all that good stuff. Well, now they're predicting with this hike of 1.75% that we're going into another recession, basically. Now, this has already been discussed by, if you follow Bloomberg or if you follow even like PBS, this has already been predicted for like the last 3 months, because we had a horrible first quarter. And once we go in to the end of the once we have the second negative quarter, so once we are in the negative for the second quarter, then it becomes a quote-unquote recession. If you're following the housing market, I mean, last year at this time, we were at 2.9% on financing, and now you're at 6% or plus. I mean, you're seeing it everywhere. Everything's raising. Um, we went from, and this is me speaking on personal finances, we went from a $230 power bill last month to a 400 plus power bill this month. And we only used 100 more kilowatts than we did last month. So everything is going up. It's just how it's going, folks. So the only thing that I can say is, look out there, see what your options are. There's plenty of programs available. I understand that milk is doubled in price, and everything's going up. Grocery store costs are outrageous. Just look at all these different programs. There's food programs that you can get on, and I'm not just talking about state aid programs. There's local churches, there's things like that. If you are hurting for food, reach out and get that. Do not be ashamed to go get in line for a food pantry, like for a food drive. Do not be ashamed of that. Make sure you're feeding your people. People, donate to these food drives. People need it. If you have an excess of food and you have more than what you're going to consume, and your stuff's coming up on its best buy date and all that stuff, hey, take it on out there, donate it to the people. Clothing, coats, all that stuff, like, take it out there and donate it to the people. If you ain't going to do no more than throw it in the trash can anyway yourself. You see how the economy is going. And again, this is my personal opinion on the matter. But I believe that the middle class got too big, folks. This has been, listen, I talk about this with people that are in my tiny little circle. You could agree, you could disagree. But the middle class got too big. Listen, I'm from poor, white trash class of people. That's where I came from. This is no bull crap. This ain't me beating around the bush. Oh, I came from poor, white trash class of people. I worked my ass off, and now I am in the middle class. I live in a suburban, like a little town with a nice little suburb, and it's got a little pond and all that good stuff, right? Well, with the way prices are going, my children are going to be lucky if we ain't in a 4-bedroom trailer living with back how we used to. I think the middle class got too big. It became too accessible for people to be successful. And then now the people that are in these corporate areas and the people invested in corporate markets are seeing, holy crap, we have a lot of people that are in the middle class. We don't have a lot of worker ants. Well, let's drive inflation. Now we get a lot more of these worker ants, because now we have more people that are back at the bottom eating the bottom food while we're up here eating the top food. Listen, I can go through that all day. I'm not going to, because I don't just want to sit here and rant. Next, we're going to hit on Mormon Church. 7 years of sex abuse, how Mormon officials let it happen. MJ was a tiny black-haired girl, just 5 years old, when her father admitted to his bishop that he was sexually abusing her. The father, a member of the Church of Jesus Christ and Latter-day Saints, admitted to pornography addiction. Was in counseling with his bishop when he revealed the abuse. The bishop, who was also a family physician, followed church policy and called what church officials have dubbed the helpline for guidance. But the call offered little help for MJ. Lawyers for the church, by the way, if somebody, go slap the hell out of all these people. Not really, because that's me inciting violence. But like, mentally, just everybody slap them right now. Okay, we got that done. So, but the call offered little help for MJ. Lawyers for the church, widely known as the Mormon Church, who staffed the helpline around the clock, told Bishop John Herod not to call police or child welfare officials. Instead, he kept the abuse secret. They said, "You absolutely can do nothing," Herod said in a recorded interview with law enforcement. Herod continued to counsel MJ's father, Paul Douglas Adams, for another year. Oh, man, this make you want to pick somebody up by their neck. For another year, and brought in Adams' wife, Liza Adams, it doesn't matter, in hopes she would do something to protect the children. She didn't. Well, what in the doggone Sam skirt of hell is she gonna do when the bishop ain't doing nothing? The lawyers are telling the bishop not to do nothing. What in the Sam skirt of hell is the wife supposed to do? Kill the husband? Maybe she's in fear. You think if he's... We're gonna keep going. In hopes she would do something to protect the children, she didn't. That shouldn't even been put into this article because it's not on her. Herod later told a second bishop, who also kept the matter a secret, after counseling with the church officials who maintained the bishops were excused from reporting the abuse to police under the state's so-called clergy penitent privilege. So is that saying because the lawyers they're just counsel, right? They don't make the actual legal decisions. So they're just counsel. They say, hey, you shouldn't do this. So it's up to you to still make that moral judgment of, hey, I should do this, or follow the law and report if you're supposed to. I believe that's what it's saying. I'm not a lawyer. Excuse me. Adams continued raping MJ for as many as 7 more years. Holy freaking crap, people. We're up to what, 12? In her adolescence, and also abused her infant sister, who was born during that time. He frequently recorded the abuse on video and posted the video on the internet. Holy crap. Adams was finally arrested by Homeland Security agents in 2017 with no help from the church, after law enforcement officials in New Zealand discovered one of the videos. So you're telling me, it took a law enforcement agency in New Zealand to contact a law enforcement agency in the United States because this dude's entire circle of individuals did not report on the fact that he is molesting and raping his daughter, who is now, 12? It went on for 7 more years. It started when she was 5. So, who is now 12 or 13, and her infant sister. So, but it took somebody from New Zealand reporting it in order for, oh my gosh, dude. Imagine that. He died by suicide in custody before he could stand trial. What a freaking... He should have died. You know what? We're not even going to talk about that either. I know certain things with violence on here. But those individuals should have had some justice and closure on that. I don't believe that that's closure. Not at all. So he died by suicide in custody before he could stand trial. Now, here's my thing. So is this church... Let's see here. Hold on. 12,000 pages of sealed records from the unrelated child sex abuse lawsuit against the Mormon Church in West Virginia. The documents offer the most detailed and comprehensive look yet into the so-called helpline Herod called. Families of survivors who filed the lawsuit said that they show it's part of a system that can easily be misused by the church leaders to divert abuse accusations away from law enforcement, and instead the church attorneys who may bury the problem, leaving victims in harm's way. Here's my thing. So why isn't the church being charged? Why isn't the church being charged with, like, you knew, first off, not only did this dude commit sexual acts on his minor, right? And minors, he videotaped this stuff. And the church knew about this. This is one of those separations of church and state where the church has all of these, like, they live in a gray area that I disagree with. If I come to you as my pastor and I say, hey, dude, I did some things. I need forgiveness for it. Like, I don't believe that they should be able to live in this gray area and not report that if it is especially a heinous crime. If it is considered in federal doctrine or in state doctrine that it is a heinous crime, I think that all priests, pastors, I don't know what the Mormon church officials are called, I believe that they should have a mandate to report, just like anybody that is in a school system they're mandated reporters. I worked in an alternative school system where the young people lived in that situation. We were mandated reporters. Anybody who worked there that even didn't work one-on-one with the kids, if they seen anything, they're mandated reporters. So how come those people in those settings are mandated reporters, but people that are family counselors, right? And I'm talking about the church. I'm not talking about in the social work or psychology setting. People that are family counselors in the church, these pastors and whatnot, they're not mandated to report egregious crimes or heinous crimes against minors. That is completely out of control. This should have been reported as soon as it was brought to this priest. It shouldn't have been calling a hotline. The hotline is 911. That's a hotline you call, dude. Like, get out of here with that. In other world news, UAE save oil firepower in case of winter supply crisis. So, United Arab Emirates stand ready to deliver a significant increase in oil output should the world face a severe supply crisis this winter. Search is familiar with the thinking of the top Gulf exporter said. So they're going to hold on to a supply. They're supplying less UAE oil right now, or not UAE oil, European oil right now, in case of this winter that there'd be shortages. I mean, I can understand that. That's saving your crop in case of starvation for the winter. So I don't know much about oil conservation. For that matter, let's bring up some more AP. I like Associated Press because it's just news. It's not I don't feel like it's very opinionated. I don't like opinionated news, one side of the aisle or the other. Anybody who knows me knows that. Let's see. We just touched on that. Oh, here's one. Here's a touchy one. The Supreme Court ruling on expanding gun rights threatens to upend firearms restrictions across the country as activists wage court battles over everything from bans on AR-15 style guns to age limits. The decision handed down in June already has led one judge to temporarily block a Colorado town from enforcing a ban on the sale and possession of certain semi-automatic weapons. The first major gun decision in more than a decade, the ruling could dramatically reshape gun laws in the U.S., even as a series of horrific mass shootings pushes the issue back into the headlines. The gun rights movement has been given a weapon of mass destruction and will annihilate approximately 75% of the gun laws eventually, said Evan Nappen, the New Jersey gun rights attorney. The court battles come as Biden administration and the police departments across the U.S. struggle to combat a surge of violent crime and mass shootings. Listen, folks, background checks, right? Now, I'm speaking from my state and my state only because that's where I live. If you live in Florida, speak on Florida. If you live in Georgia, speak on Georgia. If you live in Colorado, speak on Colorado. If you live in New Jersey, speak on New Jersey. I know I'm getting repetitive here, but I need you to understand this. So in Illinois, you have to have a thing called a FOID card. I literally just got a message that my FOID card will be expiring here in, I think within 60 days. So I had to send off for another FOID card. When you get a FOID card, they do a background check on you. So that is for this state. Again, I know in most states you just have to have a driver's license, I think. I'm just speaking on Illinois. So for these people stating we need more background checks, we need more this, more that. Well, at least my state doesn't need any more. there's no more that's needed. They need to actually just take a step to hell back. Because in my state, you already have to have a FOID card. And then if you want to conceal carry, you have to go to a class and get a concealed carry permit. And both of those must be in your possession. And the addresses must match. So if you move, you need to apply for an address change on your FOID card and an address change on your concealed carry permit. And then every so many years, you have to renew said items. So it's not like you can just walk in. And in Illinois, it's a 3-day turnaround, dog. If I walk in right now to go buy a gun, I cannot pick it up for 3 freaking days. So it's not, oh my God, little Billy went in and bought a gun today and tomorrow he shot up the school. Not in this state. Because there's 3 days to run your FOID, run your background, then you can come pick up the firearm. That's this state's laws. Now, do I agree with all the laws that are in this state? Not even close. Sweep them under the rug. But when people are sitting here preaching for more and more and more, and I hear people in my state, which is hilarious, by the way, when I hear people in my state saying, we need more, we need more, we need more. No, we don't. You obviously either are not a firearms owner in this state, or you're not a legal firearms owner in the state. Because if you were a legal firearms owner in the state of Illinois, then you already know that you have to jump through freaking hoops in order to be a firearms owner in the state of Illinois. It's not as bad as California, thank goodness. I believe that's just because of how much independent voters that we have in the state. Cook County is already a gun-free zone, except for the people with illegal firearms. I live like 25 minutes outside of Champaign-Urbana, Illinois, which is now turned into the freaking Wild West. Okay. And those are not legal gun owners that are committing these crimes. Now, as far as the mass shootings go, do you not think that 2 years of being put up in your freaking house and not having any social, we are social creatures, ladies and gentlemen. Do you not think that having that social interaction with another human being, like, that's gonna mess you up? That is going to mess you up, man. We need that social interaction. As humans, we need it. We need touch. We need sight. We need to see people's mouths move. We need to see facial expressions. We need to see body language of people. We need all of that stuff. That's how we communicate with each other. And for 2 years, especially like these people that, let's look at the last 2 years of high school. You go into your junior year, everything's fine. All of a sudden, holy crap, it's all virtual learning. Holy crap, every time you leave the house, you have to have a mask on. Holy crap, now you can't go anywhere. Holy crap, now you have to have this vaccination card in order to go anywhere. Holy crap, there's all these protests going on. Holy crap, in 2021, we were literally burning cities down because a cop was such a piece of crap and left his knee on somebody's neck until they freaking passed away because he's such a freaking scumbag. But then all these people thought it would be great to go and cost billions and billions and billions of dollars worth of freaking damage in these cities, right? And burn these freaking cities down to make a statement. Cool, whatever, done. All of this stuff happened within a 2-year period of time. You're trying to tell me that these young individuals are not supposed to be influenced by all of that? That they're not more, how do you say it, numb to situations? They have to be. Because I am. I'm more numb to situations now than I was during those 2 years. Or before those 2 years. And for Pete's sake, me as well as many other brothers in arms, we were in places where we were getting mortared and whatnot. And it's still like, holy crap, dude. Like, what in the heck is going on here at home? So that's just one of those things, man. But no, I think that was a good talk. Listen, this is my first podcast. I hope to have people on the next one, and maybe do more of a like give and take. Maybe even get some people with different viewpoints on here would be awesome. This is just my first one, so I'm gonna try and have a little bit more preparation for next time. Maybe get some more audience input and feedback. Would love to hear from you guys. So that's going to be all from this broadcast, but I appreciate you guys all so much. Again, this is my first one, so sorry if it was a little sketch. I can't wait to hang out with you guys next time. Peace.